It's easy to think that because you've done your job for a long time and nothing bad has ever happened to you, that nothing bad ever will. Whether you work above ground in the quiet suburbs or under busy city streets, it's easy to forget that there's something in the background all the time, just waiting for you to let your guard down.
It gets very scary out here.
If it's a busy road, yeah, it's very dangerous.
A lot of crazy things happen. People, they just walk like we're not even there. Drivers pretend like we're not even there. Sometimes it's a case of, let's see how many cones we can knock down when we drive by.
It's not going to stop a bus coming through an area, but it gives the drivers an advance warning. If you don't put them out, that's it. We're history.
This is the intersection of 9th Avenue and 23rd Street in Manhattan on a typical Wednesday. A New York telephone crew is working in a manhole. Thousands of vehicles will pass this location by the end of the workday. The potential for danger is staggering. It doesn't seem as if there's anything dangerous about this worksite. It's a very quiet road. On this street, it doesn't seem as if anything could possibly go wrong. But our worker set himself up right in the middle of a blind curve, with one cone at the edge of his bumper for protection. One cone is all that stands between him and this 24-foot delivery truck. The unsuspecting driver can't be blamed for going the legal speed limit on quiet back streets. This time, our worker was lucky. It was a near miss. If you set up in traffic without adequate work area protection, you become a target.
Work area protection is a visual warning. It protects the public and you, as well as coworkers and equipment. It tells motorists and pedestrians that someone's working in the area, that he or she may be in a vulnerable position. We have brought together here today most of the safety equipment that we use. Does this gear work? We've asked some people on the street for their opinion.
Sir, when you see a cone like this on the street, how do you react?
I avoid it. Go around it. Stay away.
When I see cones like that, it says to me, or they say to me, watch out and be careful.
When I see this, I try to be careful. There's men working, trying to do their job, stay as far away as possible.
Be very careful, proceed with caution.
Slow down.
Barricades, lights, warning signs, work area protection isn't designed to shield you from an impact, but it will help to prevent accidents from happening.
It's important to use every piece of work area protection appropriate to each job. If you don't, you become a target, vulnerable to accidents. Each piece of work area protection is designed for a specific purpose. For this refresher tape, a few of our co-workers will review some of the most frequently used equipment.
This is our basic 28-inch traffic cone that we use to give drivers an advance warning coming to our area. They can also be used to guide traffic gradually into channels.
To illustrate how effective cones can be in channeling traffic safely away from a work site, we set up a stationary camera next to our tool cart at 9th Avenue and 23rd Street in Manhattan. The video you are watching here was taken without a channeling run of cones starting back across the intersection. As you can see, cars are forced to come almost into the work site, in this case, actually knocking over a cone before they squeeze over. Look at the difference here. after we set up a sign and a tapering run of cones to block off the lane, starting on the other side of the intersection. The cars are channeled safely over into the other lane before they come anywhere near the work area. Don't automatically assume that traffic control agents will limit the placement of your work area protection.
I feel a lot more comfortable when I have the work area set up the right way. There are several different warning signs that we use at New York Telephone. What they do is warn drivers of existing or possible hazards in the road, or the presence of work on the road.
We use other warning devices, both illuminated and non-illuminated. These include masts, warning stands, sign stands, flashers, and warning flags.
Barricades can be used in addition to other safety devices. Here at Empire City Subway, we make use of barricades every day as far as protecting trenches and excavations.
According to OSHA, a flagger is required when operations are such that signs, signals, and barricades do not provide enough protection on or adjacent to a highway or street. Proper flagging procedures are covered in the Work Area Protection Manual. Flaggers must wear an orange warning garment. If the work is done at night, the garment must be reflectorized and the flagger must be illuminated.
The manhole guardrail is used to protect the open manhole and to assist you in entering and exiting the manhole. The manhole shield keeps water, dirt, and debris from falling in.
Flashing arrow boards are supplementary devices. They should not be used in place of other signs, cones, barricade, or flagmen. They should also not be used on any two-lane roads. People disregard the cones sometimes. Even with the cones out, you have to be careful.
Not everyone in the public knows the purpose of work area protection equipment.
Even with a sign, they kind of have a tendency just to maybe to go a little faster.
When I see a series of cones like that, I accelerate.
Luckily for people who work in traffic every day, a majority of the public reacts the right way when they see a work area.
I use caution when I see the cone.
If it's a dangerous situation, the cones warn us.
When I'm driving down the road and I see construction, I see cones, I see men with flags or all types of construction, I would slow up to see how to proceed from there.
To provide the best protection for you and the public, it is very important to make the best choice for your first piece of work area protection. Start by assessing the site carefully.
We're going to go down about 240, 250 feet.
Make it a practice to consult your Work Area Protection Manual on a regular basis. It will advise you on the device and placement appropriate to each situation.
In this relatively easy-to-control suburban location, we can follow the guidelines in the Work Area Protection Manual very closely.
The first warning device should be placed an appropriate distance from the work site. The choice of device will vary with the job.
To calculate the distance in this situation, using the formula provided in the Work Area Protection Manual, we take the 35-mile-per-hour posted speed limit, multiply it by 7, and are left with a location for the initial sign 245 feet ahead of the work site. Our workers then place a tapering run of cones starting out that distance from the manhole. Again, following the manual, the cones need to be no more than 1 foot apart for each mile of speed in the posted speed limit. For our 35-mile-per-hour speed zone, the maximum allowable distance between cones is therefore 35 feet. Your work location and traffic speed will determine whether you need additional signs, barricades, or other warning devices and their placement. Your location on the road will determine the need for a flagger or arrow board. In this situation, where we closed a lane of a multi-lane highway, the flashing arrow board is placed approximately 1/3 of the taper length from the beginning of the taper. The board provides additional visual protection and assists in diverting traffic safely away from the work area. After you've placed your last piece of work area protection, stand back and observe how the traffic flows around it. If it's not flowing smoothly, adjust your work area protection until it does.
Some specialized environments call for unique work area protection.
For example, in urban areas, if you're using a tool cart instead of a vehicle, this often means that propane cylinders will be out on the street. You have to protect the public, the cart, and the cylinders. You'll also need a sign like this one, with letters at least 2 inches tall. To protect and channel pedestrian traffic, you'll need to use rope, tape, or cones. In congested urban areas, things like double-parked cars, bus stops, heavy traffic, and permit restrictions may force you to compromise. For example, at our 23rd Street and 9th Avenue location, using the formula we've learned, the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit multiplied by 7 gives us a location for the initial sign 210 feet from the manhole. In reality, a bus stop and heavy traffic forced us to cut the taper distance almost in half, to about 125 feet. To help compensate for the shortened taper length, we increased our visibility by putting out additional signs and flashers. In addition, if you are using your vehicle or your tool cart as part of your work area protection, always place it between you and the flow of traffic. The roads are dangerous. Take the time to set up your work area safely.
It's definitely a matter of your own life and the life of your fellow workers, too. You know, it's not worth risking an accident.
I think that the bottom line here is that this is your life that you're dealing with. And cutting a corner is hurting no one but you.
Some of you out working in the street have heard that screech of brakes, braced for impact, and wished you'd put out a few more cones. If you don't use the right work area protection, and enough of it, one of these days, your luck might run out. Be safe. Be seen.